The story begins with a traveler, a cold and calculated individual, walking into a Christmas tree shop. He exchanges a bag of cash for a car key, which leads him to a blue BMW. Inside the trunk is a black suitcase containing a mysterious and dangerous payload. The shopkeeper warns that the object's acquisition was costly due to heightened border patrol security. The traveler places the suitcase into his car and, with chilling precision, murders both the shopkeeper and his nephew. To cover his tracks, he burns the shop down, calmly driving away as the flames consume the evidence. Meanwhile, at Los Angeles International Airport LAX, we meet Ethan Copek, a TSA agent who has spent 3 lackluster years at his job. Once aspiring to be a police officer, Ethan has settled into monotony, finding joy only in his relationship with his pregnant girlfriend, Nora, who also works at the airport as a manager. They board a bus together, and Nora gently steers the conversation toward his career, encouraging him to pursue his dream of joining the police force. She playfully reminds him that persistence worked when he courted her, suggesting it might work for his career too. Ethan, though touched by her encouragement, remains hesitant, expressing doubts about his ability to make a significant career change. As they arrive at the bustling LAX, the festive energy of Christmas Eve fills the air. Decorations adorn every corner, and travelers rush to their destinations. Ethan, however, is running late to work again. His supervisor, already displeased with his chronic tardiness, begins the morning security briefing without him. The Department of Homeland Security (DHS) has issued counterfeit pens to prevent fraudulent boarding passes, and the crew receives instructions on their use. Ethan arrives just as the briefing concludes and is reprimanded in front of his colleagues. His friend Jason, who has been promoted twice despite joining after Ethan, advises him to take his job more seriously for his family's sake. Jason points out the challenges of raising a child and reminds Ethan that his lack of punctuality and focus are holding him back. Feeling the weight of his friend's words, Ethan decides to approach his supervisor to request a promotion. He argues his sharp skills in spotting threats, confidently claiming he can identify fraudulent boarding passes better than even the law enforcement officers. Though skeptical, the supervisor allows him to man the scanner, replacing Jason, but warns Ethan that this is his chance to prove his worth. Unknown to Ethan, a group of criminals led by the traveler has infiltrated the airport. Their tech-savvy associate, nicknamed the Watcher, has hacked into the airport's security system, giving them eyes on every corner. The Watcher monitors Ethan, discovering that he lives with Nora and that she is pregnant. Seeing Ethan as a vulnerable yet capable pawn, the traveler decides to exploit him for their plans. Ethan's day takes a dark turn when a seemingly ordinary passenger hands him a pair of Bluetooth headphones, claiming they were found near the scanner. Moments later, a text message arrives on Ethan's phone. "Put it on." Hesitant, Ethan complies, and the traveler's voice crackles to life. Calm but menacing, the traveler threatens Nora's life, forcing Ethan to let a specific bag pass through security unchecked. The bag belongs to a man in a red cap, heading for Northwind Flight 1850. The traveler assures Ethan that any attempt to alert authorities will result in immediate harm to Nora. To prove their reach, the traveler begins listing personal details about Ethan's life, including Jason's home address and his twins, and Ethan's parents' occupations. Panicked, Ethan briefly considers calling 911, but the Watcher quickly intercepts the attempt. The traveler warns Ethan that every move he makes is being monitored. Meanwhile, Detective Elena is investigating the murder scene at the Christmas tree shop. Among the debris, she discovers a damaged ATF surveillance device embedded in a gold watch. Realizing its potential significance, she carefully extracts the chip and sends it to a colleague skilled in data recovery. Back at her desk, Elena pores over the partially restored audio. The fragments mention a substance called Novichok, a deadly nerve toxin 8 times more potent than any known chemical weapon. The mention of Novichok sends Elena into action, and she contacts Homeland Security to raise the alarm. Back at LAX, Ethan's stress mounts. He tries to use his smartwatch to send an SOS message, but the watcher catches him, forcing Ethan to lock the device away. The traveler tightens his psychological grip, casually revealing more unsettling details about Ethan's life. Despite his fear, Ethan scribbles a warning on a passenger's boarding pass, discreetly passing it to a law enforcement officer. The officer nods in understanding, but is intercepted by the traveler, who injects him with a fast-acting agent, triggering a fatal heart attack. The traveler uses this incident to further intimidate Ethan, warning him that any more disobedience will lead to Nora's immediate death. The traveler shifts his attention to Jason, instructing Ethan to frame him for drinking on duty. Under duress, Ethan spikes Jason's coffee with alcohol, leading to his dismissal. Jason leaves with a sharp, knowing look, clearly suspecting Ethan's involvement. Ethan, consumed by guilt, replaces Jason at the scanner. Shortly afterward, the traveler's associate, Mateo, passes through with the suspicious bag. Ethan's stomach churns as he watches it disappear down the conveyor belt. Unable to contain his emotions, he rushes to the restroom to vomit. There, the traveler contacts him again, coldly explaining the devastating effects of Novichok and its terrifying potential to kill hundreds of passengers. Elena, continuing her investigation, uncovers more details about the Novichok plot. She learns that a 911 call was placed from Lax, registered under Ethan's name, but the call was abruptly ended. She and Agent John head to the airport, unaware that John is an imposter working with the traveler. Meanwhile, Mateo, under duress due to threats against his husband, reveals to Ethan that he too is a victim of the traveler's schemes. Mateo's reluctant cooperation further highlights the traveler's ruthless manipulation. Ethan attempts to sabotage the traveler's plan by flagging Mateo's bag for inspection. The traveler retaliates by targeting Nora with a sniper. Ethan, desperate to save her, confronts the traveler in the restroom. A brutal fight ensues, during which Ethan manages to grab a gun and demand that the traveler call off the snipers. Instead, the traveler activates the bomb's countdown, forcing Ethan into an impossible decision: save his family or hundreds of innocent lives. As the countdown continues, Ethan and Mateo work together to disable the bomb. Mateo is fatally wounded during the struggle, but urges Ethan to complete the task. With seconds to spare, Ethan resets the device, narrowly averting disaster. Meanwhile, Elena confronts Agent John, discovering his true identity. In a high-speed car chase, she eliminates the imposter and races to the airport. The traveler's ultimate goal becomes clear: detonate the nerve toxin mid-flight, framing Russia and pushing a controversial weapons bill through Congress. The target flight carries a disguised Congresswoman pivotal to opposing the bill. Ethan sneaks into the plane's cargo hold as it takes off, determined to stop the attack. In a tense showdown, he disables the bomb and traps the traveler in a refrigerated compartment. The traveler succumbs to his own cruel plans, dying from exposure to the toxin. His accomplices, leaderless and panicked, are apprehended upon landing. With the crisis averted, Ethan reunites with Nora, who had been under constant threat. Elena ensures Ethan is cleared of any wrongdoing, recognizing his heroism. Jason, having pieced together the truth, reconciles with Ethan, and the two mend their friendship. A year later, Ethan fulfills his dream of becoming a police officer, living a happy life with Nora and their child. The story ends with a message of redemption, resilience, and the power of courage in the face of overwhelming odds. Thank you for watching. See you next time.